Good morning and welcome to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. I hope everyone is doing well on this Wednesday evening. It's morning. Hope everyone is doing well on this Wednesday morning. Massive show to bring you guys today. But before we jump into that, please do me one small favour and please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let's get straight on into it. So on today's video, we're going to be talking a little bit about the Manchester United CEO with a shock twist in the tail. We'll also be talking a bit about Jadon Sancho, who is now officially on his way to Dortmund. This is coming in from Plettigol on Twitter, very reliable German journalist. And of course, we'll be talking a little bit about Anthony Martial, who's another player who looks set to potentially be leaving in the next couple of weeks, with apparently Martial desperate to leave the club. I mean, that shocks me a little bit. I would never put Martial wanting to leave and desperate in the same sentence, to be honest. But we'll have a chat about it and we'll see what everybody thinks. As always, get involved in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on everything Manchester United, everything we discuss in the video. Let me know. I always read all the comments. I'm always interested to see what other Manchester United fans have to say. So make sure you get in the comments and let me know your thoughts on everything we discuss in today's video. So let's start the show off by talking a bit about Anthony Martial then. Obviously, we know that Fenerbahce are reportedly in talks to sign him from United at the moment. And the headline this morning is this: Anthony Martial wants to be in the French national team for the Euros 2024. So he wants to sign for a European club where he will play for the next 6 months. It says Martial has rejected all offers from Saudi Arabia so far. The next 24 hours are very important for the Fenerbahce deal. I'm not really sure what to think about this. Like, is Anthony Martial really going to ever get in the France national team again? Being completely honest, I'm a little bit confused by this story. To be completely blunt with you, like, does he genuinely think he's going to get in the team? I mean, I'm just having a look at what options they've got. So, France's current squad is Giroud, Griezmann, Marcus Thuram, and Kolo Muani. I mean, is he really better than any of those players? I don't think so. I mean, obviously, I think Kingsley Coman's injured at the moment, and he, plays as a winger. I just don't really see it myself. Like, if this story is true, which obviously it might not be, do we really think that Anthony Martial is going to actually get into the France national team? I don't think so. I don't think so personally. I don't really buy it. Obviously, I want Martial to go. I think, he's been here for far too long. He's been here nearly, I think, 9 years now, obviously since joining from Monaco. But yeah, this story is coming out from a very, very reliable Turkish journalist, though, incredibly good around Turkish league football. And it does seem like there is some serious momentum building behind this Anthony Martial deal. There was a story yesterday which caught me by surprise a little bit, saying that apparently Fenerbahce want Manchester United to loan Martial to Fenerbahce. I mean, he either goes or we keep him till the end of the season. Like, why would we loan him? It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. I think a loan is a really, really bad decision if Manchester United do go and do that. Sky Sports are also coming with that same headline this morning that Martial's linked with a loan move to Fenerbahce. Like, where is this coming from? He's got 6 months left on his contract. Just release him from his contract. Say, we're not going to pay you your wages anymore. You can move to Fenerbahce. You'll probably get a signing on fee and you can then, earn however much they're willing to pay you. Like, that's the most logical thing to happen here. Let me know what you guys think, though, about Anthony Martial to Fenerbahce. I mean, when you look on Transfer Market, which is quite a good website to look at, like, the potential transfers and stuff, they've got it as 100% that they think he's going to go to Fenerbahce, the probability. Like, I don't think anything in life's ever 100%, really, is it? But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. Let's see what people are saying in the chat this morning. Alan says there's no way that Martial would get in the France squad. Mate, I agree with you. I think it's a strange story. Jihan says Martial's desperate. He wants to play for his country. It's possible, but the French have an incredible squad. Martial fit and playing can be brilliant. If he is motivated, we will see. Yeah, I mean, it's a fair point. It's 50-50, isn't it? Tom says they're going to extend his contract, mark my words. Yeah, well, that was the story that came out last night, that apparently Fenerbahce have asked Manchester United to extend Martial's contract by another year. So for anybody unaware, Martial's current deal expires in June of this year, so in like 5 or 6 months. But Manchester United have the option of an extra year on top of that current deal, if that makes sense. Now, Fenerbahce have apparently asked Man United to trigger that 1 year extension and then loan him to them. I mean, if we do that, we're absolutely stupid, because the issue I have with that, right, is that Martial's current contract is 250,000 a week, right? Unless he was willing to agree to like heavily reduced terms, I'm talking like 50 to 100 grand a week, which he's never going to do. Why would we extend his deal? Like, it makes zero sense. And like, if Fenerbahce want him, they just need to take him. It's as simple as that. I don't think United are expecting a transfer fee. Obviously, we know that we need to sell or get rid of someone like Martial in order to bring in a new striker, whether that's Guirassy, whether that's Choupo-Moting, whether that is... I mean, I don't really know who else. Obviously, Timo Werner was the one that was the most likely option, but he's gone to Tottenham, which I think is a massive blow. I really, really do. I think Timo Werner, I know a lot of you were like, oh, he's not good enough. He was a Chelsea flop. Like, that is our level at the moment. And I think someone like Timo Werner coming into that squad would have really, really helped Rasmus Højlund, because let's be honest, right? We desperately need to re-bolster that attack. For us to only get 2 goals, one of which was a questionable penalty against a team almost bottom of League One with our first team playing, like, that's not very good, is it? You know? I just to be clear, I think the Bruno Fernandes penalty was a penalty against Wigan. I mean, it was soft, but it was a penalty. But my point being here, we only managed to score 1 goal from open play with our best starting 11 versus a team who are bottom of League One, pretty much. I mean, that's not good, is it? So, yeah, we desperately need to bring in a striker. Daniel says they are using Manchester United as a broker to avoid paying a signing on fee and lower wages. Brilliant move from them. Yeah, I mean, Fenerbahce, hats off to them. Obviously, for Man United, it's a bit of an embarrassing situation with Martial. You know, I spoke about this on the show last night, right? He hasn't kicked a ball for Manchester United since the 9th of December, over a month. And he's not been injured. He's been ill, apparently, for a month now. Now, obviously, I hope he's all right. You know, if he genuinely has been injured if he has been ill for a month, then, you know, there could be potentially something wrong with him. But from what I'm hearing, that isn't the case. It's not actual illness. It's just like they're trying to wrap him in cotton wool to try and, you know, to push him on. He's not contributing, though. I mean, I say that, though. I mean, if I want to be really, really critical, like, he's got 2 goals and 2 assists this season, right? I don't think Anthony's got a single goal or an assist, has he? Anthony the winger, that is. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think Anthony's got a goal or an assist. Let me just double check. I want to make sure I get my facts right. Yeah, Anthony's played 21 games this season and has no goals and no assists. And Anthony Martial has got 2 goals and 2 assists. So, I mean, if you're looking at it like that, there might be some people in the fan base who are arguing that they'd rather get rid of Anthony than Anthony Martial. But obviously, we are where we are. Martial's got 6 months left of his deal. Whether you think Anthony is good enough, the winger Anthony is good enough for Manchester United, we're stuck with him now. He's got a contract till 2027. You've got 3.5 years left of the deal. Nobody's going to pay anywhere near close to the 95 million euros we paid for him. So, I mean, let's be completely honest here, right? Anthony, the winger, was worth probably about 30 million, I think. Maybe 35, 40 if you're really pushing it. And I think even then that's probably pushing it. We paid 95 million euros for him. Ajax bought him from Sao Paulo the season before for 15 million euros. They made 80 million profit off that deal within the space of 1 year. And in that 1 year, that we ultimately based our, our decision off. I mean, he did do pretty well. He got 12 goals and 10 assists in 33 matches. Like, that is a good return, but, you know, that is in the Dutch league. And the Dutch league is obviously a lot lower quality than the Premier League, isn't it? But for him to have got no goals and no assists this season versus 22 goals and assists in his last season in Eredivisie, like, it just shows the difference in level, and it shows the difference in our creativity in this current squad. You know, he's only got, so far in 65 matches at Man United, he's only got 8 goals and 3 assists. So he's averaging a goal or an assist every 7 games, which I mean, over a season, I mean, say a season in the Premier League is 38 matches. That's probably about 5 goals or assists across a 30 odd game season. Like, it's not good, is it? Let's see what else people are saying in the chat. Prane says Wigan are 53 places below us in the league. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Daniel says pick the worst signing: Anthony, Sancho, or Mount. That's a good one. I'll ask that back to the chat. Everybody let me know in the comment section, which is the worst of these 3 signings, Anthony, Sancho, or Mount? Anthony was 95 million euros. I think Jadon Sancho was about 80 million euros, and Mason Mount was about 60 million euros. I mean, it has to be Anthony, doesn't it, really? To be paying 95 million euros for Anthony, he's not very good, is he? Chris says, interesting interview on TalkSport this morning with Marcel van der Kraan. He said that Erik ten Hag told him directly that he provided a list of his preferred targets and he didn't get a single one. I mean, that's absolutely terrible, isn't it? And you know what, Chris? It doesn't surprise me at all, because when you look through the players that we got this season and last season, we know that he wanted Harry Kane. We know that he wanted Victor Osimhen, and he got Rasmus Højlund. I always said in the summer that Rasmus Højlund could go on to be a good player, but at a club like Manchester United, you need a Rasmus Højlund and a Harry Kane. You need a Rasmus Højlund and a Victor Osimhen. Rasmus Højlund on his own is simply not going to be good enough at this moment in time. I mean, in 2 or 3 years, if he develops, maybe he'll turn into the player we all hope he can become. But, you know, I'd still say it's 50-50 at this point. You know, when you look at the rest of the signings, Casemiro, we know that he wanted Frankie de Jong. Martinez, we know that he wanted Jurrien Timber. Who else did we get? I mean, Eriksen, that was a free transfer. Like, you can't really include that. I think Mason Mount was a club signing. I don't think Erik ten Hag wanted Mason Mount. I think that the club knew that there was these kind of stories floating around, you know, saying that Erik ten Hag appreciated Mason Mount from his time in the Eredivisie when he was on loan there. But I honestly don't think that Mason Mount and Erik ten Hag was his number one target, because we know he wanted people like Frankie de Jong. We know that he wanted Rabiot. We know that he wanted like Arnautovic, which I'm not saying we should have got those people, but it's pretty obvious to see. Prane says Anthony was useful against Arsenal and Barcelona and to defend against other teams, but Mount has been a total waste of money. Yeah, I'll agree that Mason Mount was a strange signing. I think to say he's a waste of money is a little bit harsh, because we haven't really given him an opportunity yet. And I'm actually quite excited to see Mason Mount come back into this team, because I think it can only be better than what we're seeing at the moment, because going forward, we're creating nothing. And that's really, really frustrating, you know? I'm just having a look at his stats. He's only played 627 minutes so far this season, which is the equivalent of about just over 6 games he's played. And we've probably played somewhere between 30 and 35 matches across all competitions at this point, right? So for him to have only played 6 games, you know, he's missed 75+% of our games, which is crazy. It really, really is. Now, I 100% agree with you that Mason Mount, with 1 year left on his contract, for 65 million euros or 60 million pounds was a stupid deal to do. It made 0 sense. But we've got to give him a chance. He's here till 2028. That's the thing you've got to remember. He's got another 4 years left on his deal, or 4.5 years left. His contract expires in June 2028. And I think that Mason Mount could come good. At some point, I think Bruno Fernandes will be moved on. And I think that Mason Mount could be that player that takes Bruno Fernandes' position as in that kind of number 10 role, in the attacking midfield position. When that will happen, I don't really know, to be completely honest with you. I mean, Bruno Fernandes, stats-wise, is clearly still our best player. You know, he's got 11 goals and assists in 27 games, averaging a goal or an assist almost every other game. Whereas, you know, you look at other people, you look at Marcus Rashford, who's, you know, just got this bumper new contract, £350,000 a week, should be in his prime right now. I mean, to be fair to Rashford, he gets criticised a lot, right? I'm just having a look now. He's got 9 goals and assists in 25 matches. Like, obviously that's not great, but it's not terrible. It's not absolutely awful. It's like a goal or an assist every 3 games, which I know for what people expect of Rashford. I mean, for 375k a week, that's obviously not good enough, is it? Simple as. You know, that's like I would say like 100 grand a week player type stats. You know, it's not like he's putting up stats like Son or Salah, who year on year put up absolutely crazy stats. You know, those types of players warrant being paid 350, 400k a week. I mean, you look at Salah's stats this season, right? He's got 27 goals and assists in 27 games. He's getting a goal or an assist every single game. Plays in the same position as Marcus Rashford. Probably earning less money than Marcus Rashford, right? But he earns that worth, you know? He earns the money that he's getting, whereas Marcus Rashford simply doesn't, and it's hard to kind of get behind him. And that's just another example of how the Glazers have really, really messed up this club over the last kind of 10 or so years, and why Jim Ratcliffe, Dave Brailsford, like all of these people need to come in and really, really sort the situation out. So let's move over to a bit more topical news. If everybody who is in the chat could smash a like on the video really, really quickly, that would be a massive, massive help. It brings more people into the show, doesn't cost any money, so please go and like the video now. Just takes you literally a second. So if everyone could do that now, that would be great. So yeah, please go and do that. Right, let's talk about the CEO situation. So obviously, the murmurs that had been coming out of the club over the last kind of month since Sir Jim's 25% had been announced was that Jean-Claude Blanc was going to be the CEO, which I think everybody was really happy with. You know, I thought Jean-Claude Blanc, Paul Mitchell, Sir Dave Brailsford, I thought it was a massive improvement on the current setup we had with the Glazers, right? But what we're hearing this morning is that apparently Jean-Claude Blanc is not going to become the CEO. So the headline this morning is, across meetings in recent weeks, Jean-Claude Blanc's role has been portrayed as somebody club staff can expect to see a lot of around the place, but the expectation is he will very much be there as a representative of Ineos rather than the new Manchester United CEO. So then it goes on to say that Jean-Claude Blanc has been mentioned as a potential candidate for the CEO and was thought to be under consideration, but numerous sources at United and Ineos, speaking on the condition of anonymity to protect relationship, have poured cold water on that idea. So ultimately, from what we're hearing, Jean-Claude Blanc is not going to be the CEO. And it even goes as far as saying that the CEO will actually be decided by the Glazers, because the thing you have to remember is, right, a CEO is money. And the Glazers are still going to be controlling the money, the commercial side of it. The sporting director is obviously to do with football. The recruitment department is to do with football. But a CEO is the chief executive officer. That's the person whose main job is to ultimately make the club money, make the Glazers money. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. But I am a little bit disappointed, to be completely honest with you. I'm a little bit disappointed that it doesn't look like Jean-Claude Blanc will be the next CEO, because I think, you know, I thought he would have been good. Obviously, he from what I've seen, he did a good job at PSG. He was obviously at Juventus before. He seems like a relatively experienced person. But yeah, it looks like he will just be kind of a representative of Ineos. So he'll be there ultimately monitoring things from an outside perspective. And ultimately just making sure that, you know, Ineos's investment is in safe hands and that, you know, the people doing things are doing things in a correct way. So maybe it still will benefit us one way or another. Who the CEO will be, I'll be honest with you, I've got absolutely no idea. I think it's, I think it's all up for debate at this point. Chris says we should have known that full sporting control does equal being able to choose the CEO. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that is ultimately it, isn't it? Yeah, it's what else have we got? Ben says I would have picked Steve Jobs for the CEO. Fair enough. Chris says Blanc may still have a seat at the board and influence. Yeah, I mean, I think he'll still be involved in the conversations, but I don't think he's going to have an as big a say as, if he was the CEO, because, I mean, the CEO is like the top job, really, isn't it? That, you know, you're controlling ultimately. You have a say on everything if you're the CEO, don't you? So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. I will read out a couple more of your comments in a minute. So if you have any questions or anything, get them in the comment section now and I will read them out. Just to talk on Jadon Sancho really, really quickly. Plettigol, Florian Pletterberg, Sky Sports Germany journalist, is reporting in the last 30 minutes that Jadon Sancho's loan move to Dortmund is now complete. So apparently he's going to land, I think today or tomorrow for a medical, and then he will be announced as a Dortmund player. So, yeah. Michelle says, the guy from Newcastle isn't coming either. Okay. I mean, I assume you mean Dan Ashworth. I haven't heard anything about Dan Ashworth, to be honest. As far as I was, yeah. I mean, at the moment, I think the Dan Ashworth thing's gone quite quiet. I hope that we still get Dan Ashworth and Paul Mitchell. I think that's the kind of bare minimum that I need to feel positive about the future going forward. But we'll have to wait and see. Right. But I'm going to wrap the video up there, guys. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined me on the show this morning. Please do make sure to smash a like on the video before you go. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. This has been Daily Red Devil. I will be back about 6 p.m. UK time, so make sure you join me for that. Have a good day, everybody, and I'll speak to you all soon.